I'm Mike Slade, founder of Uncanny Nerd. This is King and Clay Mann. You just clapped for them. Right, yeah, and guys, welcome. How many? Do you guys are able to do conventions together a lot, or is it normally separate? We're gonna let Clay adjust his chair, and we'll let Tom answer this one for a bit.
3 hours later, almost there.
They wouldn't put them there if it wasn't meant to get comfortable.
So are you able to do cons together a lot, or is it mostly?
We try to avoid it as much as possible, just because I don't particularly care for Clay.
This is obvious.
Yeah, no, I think it's, yeah, you guys know. No, we do a lot of cons together. Because, what are you doing?
Hit the table when I was going.
You were gonna break this. Did you guys see what Clay did in the, can I tell them what you did in the other room?
So, what did Clay do in the other room? Like, that was an official question. He has to
Without me
answer.
being involved at all, Clay took
Tom bet me $100
a Sharpie.
to get a Sharpie stuck in a chandelier.
Oh, up in the ballroom?
What? What are you talking about? I don't remember that part. I remember you throwing a Sharpie at a chandelier and then swaying while I waited for it to fall and kill someone at the corner.
Which chandelier is it? So
The two massive ones that are as big as the ceiling.
Oh my! Literally, it was the most scared I've ever been in my life. I could just see it. It's just this big glass thing crashing and killing someone. Like that's gonna define my entire life. I was the guy who was vaguely associated with Clay when he killed somebody.
the best part will come back next year. It'll still be up there.
No problem, sure.
I didn't get the money.
Yeah, he didn't even get the money. His man died for nothing.
So we're gonna do a little bit of questions for me, then we're gonna open it up to some Q&A from the audience, if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah. Anything.
I'm sure you guys want to do that too, so that's gonna be fun. What was the first book you guys worked on together?
Batman 24. Yeah, the engagement issue.
Yeah. Can you guys? Do I really need to talk to this, or you can?
Can you hear him?
No.
I can't hear. I'm sitting next to him. I can't hear him. And thank God.
I can move the whole stand closer if you like, so you don't even have to move.
I'm gonna hold it like this.
Okay, cool. I like it.
Comfortable.
Do you want a fucking pillow?
I think that's a yes.
I wear it.
So the engagement issue.
The engagement issue. Yeah, we didn't. We were at what con was it?
MegaCon.
MegaCon Orlando,
Yes.
and there was an artist for that issue that couldn't do it for various reasons.
False. But go ahead.
I'm telling the nice version of this. There was an artist who I didn't think was right for the book. A brilliant artist. I was going to do it myself, actually. And they dropped it out the last second, and because I knew it was to be the big engagement issue where he's on knee and everything, and so I needed. So I asked David Finch to draw it because I was like, he's my #1 choice, and I was like, nobody else could do this, and David Finch is like, well, I can do half of it. I was like, oh, who's my #2 choice?
Drew it on a plane.
And then when I got like to number 15, someone suggested Clay, and I was like, who's Clay Mann? No, that's not true.
That's true, because I reached out to him on Facebook, and he would just like talk to me and like fake talk to me. Be like, oh, I love your stuff. We should work
All I knew
together.
about Clay
and
is
he just never.
I had met him at a con, and he was very rude to a friend of mine
I misunderstood.
when you were on Gambit.
Yeah.
And so I thought you were just a rude, mean person. And I was fucking right.
I love how this panel is going so far. This is perfect.
So we were literally at Orlando Comic Con. We were sitting next to each other because we had the same con agent, so we sit at the same table. And I didn't know him. I didn't remember that he Facebooked me because
Multiple times he told me he loved me, and then he just.
so I lied to you multiple times. That's very kind, I thought. And Doug's our con agent, I said I need an artist ASAP for this Batman issue because Finch can only do 10 of the pages. And our agent said, what about Clay? And I was like, oh, fuck, no. But no, I said, that'd be fantastic. And I called the editor and said, you could do it. And they said, no, there's no way he could do it. He won't be able to do it. And I said, I just fucking talked to him. I was like, no, you didn't. I was like, he's sitting next to me. I was like, I can see him with my eyes as we're having this conversation. And he says he can do it. And then you did it. And we won the Diamond Award that year for that issue.
Did we?
Yeah, or I did.
I wouldn't know.
You didn't have any part of the award, apparently.
They gave the award to everybody but me. That's all.
He comes to my house and he sees this award. He's like, what issue is this for? I'm like, oh, that was Batman 24. I won a big award for that. He's like, I drew that issue.
And now, you guys are, you might not tell, like, best friends?
What, with him? No.
No, not even close.
He has a twin brother. I like that guy, okay.
No, you don't.
No, I actually
I love Tom.
don't. I like Clay. Clay's cool. He's all right.
Cool, so you've been working on Batman for a while together. You did that. I love the double date issue. That's probably one of my favorites.
It's everybody's favorite issue of Batman.
And I'm so sorry. I apologize if people keep bringing it up, but I absolutely love it. And I love the art of it. I love the writing of it, because whenever you can see a superhero not being a superhero, it humanizes them, and it's awesome. And I love the look of it. That was your first time drawing Lois?
Yeah, I drew on her cover.
No, you did that one cover. It's like definitive Lois image.
I drew on her cover at Action Comics.
For a cover, but first time inside of it.
Yes, but I really, really enjoy drawing her. Yeah.
Yeah, it was spectacular.
Clay's Lois is like the definitive one. Like if they're making a Lois Lane movie, they bring that one Action Comics stuff. So you're like the Lois person.
So that transferred to Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah.
And how did that team up with you guys work?
He wanted Jason Fabok, and he said he couldn't
Yeah, that's
do
true.
it. Story of
Well, I
my
wanted David
life.
Finch first, and then Fabok used to work for Finch. I was like, that's okay. And then they put him. How did it work? Do you remember? I remember.
You called. Let's see.
Well, I like 3637. We were at Boston Comic Con, and he said, "Do you have any more issues?" I said, "Yeah, I have these 2 issues, and it's going to be." And he's just Batman and Catwoman hanging out with any superhero you want, and we'll put it together. And you're the one who said Superman and Lois Lane.
Well, you had said to me it could be Aquaman or Flash. Or no.
Yeah, you could have done the great Aquaman arc.
No.
And you suggested Superman, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta do like a definitive Superman thing. And then I wrote it, and I was like, oh, I fucked it up. This is no good. And I turned it, and I was like, oh, this is the best I can do. And it's weird that it's everyone's favorite issue, because I distinctly remember being like, oh, I messed this one up. So I have terrible taste in my own work.
Really?
And then we did 36 together, and I called Clay and I said, okay, because I didn't know how to make it. I was like, oh, they should go on a date, but how do I make that interesting for 2 issues, and how do I get them costume? I was like,
I wasn't gonna do it either.
yeah, and then I was like, okay, they'll do the fights, because he wanted to do some punching. He had to put punching in books, so they wouldn't let me do 2 issues without punching, so I did the punching one first, and then the date. And then we got to the date, you called me and told me you couldn't draw it,
Because I didn't have enough time.
because you didn't have enough time.
I did it anyway.
If you did it anyway. And I wrote it, and I wrote it as, and you hated it. You turned it in, you're like, I hate this art, I hate this issue, I hate everything about it.
It's rushed. It's rushed.
And how many times do people tell you they love that issue?
What's the best you ever wrote?
So you hated the drawing and you hated the words.
I did.
And everyone says it's your best.
And everyone loved it. Well, no, that 37 was super fun to write. I love comedy. I love writing funny stuff. And and there's the famous story with the glasses. He called me to ask if Clark was, because in the issue, if you guys have read, they exchanged costumes. Batman's wearing Superman's costume, and vice versa. And he called me to ask me if Clark would still wear his glasses, and I thought, yeah, with his cowl back, he'd still have that. That's how I pictured it. Like he has his cowl off and the glasses on, but he drew him with the cowl on and the glasses over the cowl. It's the best thing ever. Can I ask you a question?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's holding the glasses up on the cowl? These safety pins?
You're one of these people. Oh, why is Superman? How can Superman fly? Stupid question.
He's one of these people. We're all these people.
How do people? They could put. Look, this guy's got sunglasses on his hat. His ears ain't holding it up. It works.
All right, I like it. That's a good explanation.
So there's works that you don't like. What's something that you look back on, you're like, damn, that actually was pretty good.
37. Same issue.
I like it. So you didn't like it when you did it, but then you look back on it and you like it.
I hate everything I do when I do it. When I look back, I'm like, sometimes I wonder why I was so hard on myself. But I still see all the original flaws in it, but yeah.
There's stuff like that page in 36 that I like and you hate where Catwoman shakes Lois's hand, where they're coming off the elevator, and it's like 5 single panels like that.
Yeah.
I love that page. That's what when I read, I was like, oh, I wrote that good.
Yeah, if something's not happening on a whole page and there's barely any movement but lots of panels, it'll be Tom's favorite page.
That's 100% true. And those are always the best pages.
There's a splash of Batman in that. No. Yeah, in that. Is that the one where he's up? Yes.
Where he's upside down?
It's in 36.
Yeah, it's 36.
I cannot stand that picture till today. I still hate it. I hate it.
Why do you hate it?
It's ugly. I don't like it.
It's true, it's ugly, guys. Don't buy that issue.
Just the one page. I do not like the page. That's all.
I've written stuff I don't like, where it feels like the dialogue's rushed or I like these.
Yeah, but do they know that writers get to write it and then they get to wait weeks and they get a rewrite and then they might even get another rewrite before trade and I'm stuck with my garbage forever. You get rewrite, you get to look at what you wrote later.
Wait, that's the same thing. You get to pencil it and then you get to ink it. It's the same thing.
No.
It's just another pass. It's 100% exactly the same thing. I write it once and then I see it and I write it and I write over whatever you wrote.
No, but I turn something in and it's done. I can't go back. You turn something in,
First
you
of all,
get
it's
it.
not actually true.
See how he's talking over me? It's because he knows I'm right. You get to
If you
go
wanted
back.
to change something for the trade, they'd let you.
But that time doesn't equate into my schedule. Yours has that loop.
When I do the magic times, it makes no sense. When I'm writing, I'm writing.
Don't writers get a final pass?
Yes. Because we'll ask someone to draw something, and they'll draw it wrong.
Or perfect?
And we have to adjust our words to make them work.
I feel like this is exactly what I said. Anyway.
When you get a comic book back and I've changed some stuff around, do you like, fuck Tom, I didn't draw it to be like that?
No, not with you. I've had writers in the past who will change the dialogue to arguing or lots of exclamation points, and I just have people not yelling, and I think it makes me look like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's a good excuse for that, Scott.
But no, you haven't done that. I was just saying, I wish I could get a redo on some of the stuff I do. That's all.
So there's a very recently announced Batman, and
It's hard to say Batman, Catwoman. We just call it Batcat.
Batcat.
We call it
A new Batcat 12-issue miniseries, right?
Yeah.
Coming out.
Maxi series.
Maxi. It's not a miniseries. This is a maxi series. This is pretty exciting. The things you get, from my understanding, the most acclaim for are your little 12-issue runs, right?
Until I win that Eisner for Batman
Which is going to be amazing.
on fucking month. So if you guys can vote for the Eisners, any of you all out there, me, you, Bob, you're a historian, I promoted you.
I voted for that, and you can also vote for Mr. Miracle in that as well.
You can also vote for Mr. Miracle, Eisner voters. I see there's a camera back there. It just goes viral. Go. Vote.
Oh, this is
So
recorded?
do you have a... Of course it's recorded. Thanks. He's going to be covered like this the entire next to this. So do you have a preference then? Do you really like doing these 12-issue maxi series compared to a longer sustained run? There's more of a contained.
I feel like I
type of
should
thing.
say no, but the answer is yes. I should lie, right? No, I don't have a preference. I love doing contained story. I come from novels. I love doing things that have beginning, middles, and end. And middles. Oh my god.
Talking like me over there.
I know, I'm trying to make you look good because we're in front of a camera now, so you want to relax. And yeah, I mean, the things I've written that I'm incredibly proud of, like Vision and Mr. Miracle and Sheriff of Babylon, Omega Men, there's these 12 issues sort of series. But this is going to be sort of different than that because this is the end of Batman. I mean, basically Batman itself is splitting into 2 books. The actual Batman series, which will sort of be supporting this build up to 100, which is this big event, and then our book, which will be finishing the story we've been telling for 85 issues or 3 years, and then also ending in this huge thing that'll propel Batman forward for the next generation. So it's a combination of things. It's almost like I'm writing Batman and Mr. Miracle simultaneously, and so it's something brand new, and I'm excited about it. Yeah, I love it.
Very cool.
And working with Clay is the best. He's the best artist in comics, so that's the easiest thing.
That's he's talking good about it right there. Yeah.
Clay
So
Mann is the best artist in comics.
Why do that again when you zoom?
No, but yeah, that was his, the Twitter announcement for you. Your reveal was, something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, delighted to be working with the best artists in comics and, my good friend, Clay Mann, stuff like that. So is it such a relief then to be able to work with a friend, someone who you can have that communication with, to work with, this super talented type of artist?
No, it's awful.
It sucks, right?
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
Dude, when I used to work with Barnaby, who is awesome on Omega Men, I never met him. I never talked to him. If I didn't like a page of his art, I just send it to the editor and be like, I don't like this page, and you can change it. But fucking Clay, I don't like this page of art. Ring, ring, ring. Why do you mean you don't like this page of art? I can't redraw this. You've met my wife. It's like so much more pressure,
Clay, I want to talk about, we're going to be talking about the being a writer and being an artist. So I got to do the artist questions. How did being an artist start for you? Such a cliche question, I know.
Start artist, like just drawing?
Yeah,
We all drew as kids, right?
I didn't.
But you
I'm
had
kidding,
to.
I did.
Okay, well you still.
I still draw like a kid, so.
Yeah, you do.
Oh.
I feel like I just didn't stop. I feel like there's an age where people just stop doing like kid stuff, and I don't feel like I ever stopped. If that makes sense.
When did you decide it wanted to be a career, though?
I think I was in 4th grade. I found out what comics were, and I like comics ever since the 4th grade. And then it's just what I wanted to do through school. You always had to do projects. What is your dream job? Draw comics. So.
Nice.
Did Seth want to be a comic artist too?
Yeah,
Seth is his twin
we
brother.
both did. My brother wanted to. We both want to be artists.
What was your? You had a huge career change.
Yeah. Well, I used to work 4 blocks away from here, so.
Yeah. What propelled you to go? Hey, I want to start doing this full time now.
I didn't have skills to do anything else. I left. I took a year of LWAP from this Leave Without Pay. I know you guys know that because you're in DC. I wrote it, and I wrote my first. But honestly, I didn't know what to do. I wasn't a lawyer. I wasn't a doctor. I started CIA when I was 22, right out of college, or a few years out of college. And the only skill set I had was like make one terrorist spy on another terrorist, which didn't translate well to interviews with like Booz Allen or whatever. Or if it did, you didn't want to be involved in those companies. But I'd been before CIA stuff in college. I'd sort of dabbled in comic book writing. I'd worked for Marvel and DC as an intern. So this almost seemed like my only other option. I was 30 at the time, so it's not very sure. And I'm as shocked as anyone that it worked.
When did you start reading comics?
I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. Yeah, it was.
About the same. Okay.
Yeah, my generation. So I'm 40. Thank God our parents were slowly killing themselves with tobacco, but it was like both my parents smoked, and so they would randomly stop at newsstands every night or whatever, and just out of guilt they'd buy a comic book and throw it at me.
So what were the big storylines that you guys, you started reading comics and something brought you in? There had to be some kind of a story that really just was the catalyst then. Can you think of anything there? Or maybe just the character, like I've really felt an attachment to Spider-Man.
For me, I mean, I got into comics, like I said, I like comics since the 4th grade. I honestly never read them. I bought them for the art. I collected them for the art. The first one I really read that I loved.
Even Mr. Liddell's comics?
I was just about to get to. The first series I ever read was Generation X, and I loved it. It made me addicted to like buy it monthly. But before, like even when I was buying like Jim Lee stuff or the 90s X-Men, I don't even remember reading it. I love the art. But that was what hooked me story-wise.
Very good. And now you get to work with Jim Lee.
I never have worked with Jim Lee. He's my boss. Is that working?
Work for Jim Lee?
I guess.
Work with Jim.
I wish we were buddies. I wish we were like close friends.
Clay
I would
would-
trade him for Tom and
So Clay's like, Jim Lee's my favorite. I love him. I was like, well, you want? Because I know Jim. So I was like, you want me to introduce you to him? Like, no. I was like, come on, I'll introduce you to him. No. I was like, okay. So I pulled Jim aside. I set up a time. I showed up for us to meet, and Clay didn't fucking show up. Chicken out of the first meeting. So then I had to tell Jim. I was like, Jim, Clay's a huge fan of yours, but he's afraid to talk to you. And he's like, isn't Clay in his 30s? I was like, supposedly.
He said that?
No, that's not what he says. Okay, I'll take care of it, because Jim's sort of used to that kind of stuff. And then he approached you, right?
I got a text from an unknown number. It said, hey, it's Jim. You want to have lunch with me? And I said yes, so I had lunch with him. It was awkward.
For all involved.
I'm not good with people.
All right, so there is probably not much to reveal on the movie side with you, but that's my job to ask. How did, on Twitter you were talking about having these secret meetings with Warner Brothers. Is this that? Is
That's
this?
half of it. There's another half that hasn't been revealed.
Uh-oh. So what we're talking about is recently announced there's an Old Gods movie coming out. Correct?
Old Gods. Oh, New Gods.
New Gods. Did I say Old Gods? Yes. New Gods movie. Yeah, that's right.
Came to pass and
Yes.
Old Gods died.
Yeah, everyone's, no, because you're, yeah. So a New Gods movie coming out that Tom's going to be writing, so that's incredible.
Co-writing with Ava DuVernay.
Yes. So that's super exciting for everybody. There's another half of that.
Yeah, there's another Hollywood thing that hasn't been announced, which is also cool.
It's very cool. I know what it is.
That's super.
If Clay thinks it's cool, you know, it must be so. He doesn't think anything about me is cool.
How long was that process of? Did DC get with Warner Brothers first and say, "Hey, I want Tom on this," or did you go, "Hey guys, I got an idea"? What happened there?
Yeah, I'd love if any of that was true. No, Ava reached out to me on. She had I don't know what I'm allowed to say. I think it's safe enough to say that she chose New Gods as like the movie she wanted to work on.
Nice.
Because I mean, she'll explain this better, but it had sort of an intimate connection to her childhood. And so I think she was reading through the material and she read Mr. Miracle. And she reached out to me through Twitter. I got a DM from Ava DuVernay. She's like, "What's up, Tom?" It's like Saturday afternoon. I got like my kids and my dogs barking at me. Like, "1 second, I have to talk to the Academy Award nominee." It's like, "What's up, Ava?" And she got on the phone and she's like, "Do you want to?" She was assembling a sort of a think tank of nerds, a nerd tank, if you will.
I like it.
To talk about sort of what Jack Kirby's meant to New Gods and all that stuff. And she wanted to know if I would sort of help put that together because she had read Mr. Miracle. And I was like, "No, that sounds stupid. Fuck you know." I was like, "Yes, whatever you want. Yes, ma'am. Do you want me to bring Clay?" I was like, "Clay Mann, you know him?" I was like,
Don't tease me, man.
How long was that process from when she texted you to green light, we're doing it?
I was probably 2 or 3 months. Yeah, I mean, I went down there. We met. We talked. It was. I don't know. I'm allowed to say who the sort of nerd. I can at least say that Julian Lytle was there with me. And Julian Lytle was sort of the inspiration behind. He's a local guy here, if anybody knows him. Darkseid is, and he's like the world's expert on New Gods. So he came with me, and we took a picture if you look on Twitter. And we talked New Gods for a while, and sort of what it could be and what it couldn't be, and I mean, the problem with New Gods, everyone knows, is that sort of Star Wars ripped off New Gods, right? Or maybe invertedly, but like it's like, so when you describe to someone what New Gods is, who doesn't know what New Gods is, they're like, oh, that's just Star Wars. You're like, so it's about a guy and his father's a bad guy, but he doesn't know it's his father. You're like, oh, you mean like Star Wars? Like, no, you don't understand. His father is dark side. Yeah, like Star Wars. And you're like, no, you don't understand. They both rely on this secret magic that propels them. Is it the Force? No. It's the source. So, like that was the big hump. Like, can you get over that when you're making the original of the copy? Can you get over the copy? And I think we found a way to get to it. So then once we sort of found that way, then Ava and I got along, and so she called me and said, "Do you want to write the movie with me?" I said, "Yeah."
Very cool. Yeah, it's exciting for everybody. Clay, what was your favorite part of Heroes in Crisis?
The Penguin.
Favorite part.
The Twitter reaction to me. Tom, this book is the worst book I've ever read. It sucks so much, and you hate comics. P.S. Art was great.
That's my favorite part. I get a lot of those.
All right, we're going to open it up to you guys now. Anything you guys want to cover before we do a Q&A with the audience? Anything you want to promote, you want to talk about, any fun stories you got? You can say no, whatever you like.
Did you guys vote for the Eisners? I've given you like 5 minutes. I know you have fucking phones. It's just the internet.
All right, so just going to raise your hand. I'll call on you guys. Please be loud. Make sure we can hear you up here. Yes.
What's up?
Big fan.
You rock. Yeah, we've met many times.
So I just,
I feel like I've met all of you. This is DC because I do between Third Eye and Awesome Con. And yeah, we've met all. We're all buddies.
so I was really excited to hear that you and Clay are doing the
Batcat. Yeah, it's hard to say. We're going Batcat.
series. So I was just wondering, and I think this is true, that storyline that they're having for that series is what you originally had for up to 100 storyline for the main Batman, basically.
Yeah, it's exactly what it was. So we are doing this thing called City of Bane, which starts in '75, and it's this big thing with Tony Daniel and Mikkel, and Clay's doing 2 of the issues, and that's like the huge event that was supposed to end with the end of the villain sort of part of this arc. Who knows who will win, but it's the end of the villain. And then that's supposed to go to 85, and then the last 15 pages were supposed to be about this Bat-Cat relationship that led to a big thing at 100. Who knows what the big thing could be? Maybe they'll hold hands for the first time. So that sort of those last 15 issues were split off into a maxi series. And so it'll be 12 instead of 15, so it's slightly less, but because they're doing certain beats in the Batman series that I no longer have to do, that are like crossover kind of beats, it'll be about the same thing. The one thing we're losing is that coda that I wanted to do, and we'll find a way to sort of make that in. I didn't even know what that was. I was going to do sort of a Vaingloria's victory lap with like every artist who had done something, do a Joel issue and another Clay issue. And so maybe we'll do an annual or something like that. That's the one thing that's missing is the coda.
Next. Yes.
So I'm assuming for you as well. I know you worked in national security for a while.
I did. I get like 5 bucks from him.
And in your writing, you usually tackle mental health, especially as it relates to heroes.
Yeah.
Heroes seeing things that are horrible, doing things that are horrible to protect people, and then the effect that has on them. And anyone who works in national
Pulled that out of thin air.
Right. So anyone who works in national security knows a ton of people who need to seek mental health care and don't because they're worried about getting clearance downgrades, getting taken off projects.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how much that inspired the way you wrote, say, Mr. Miracle, or even Almost Crowded Sky?
Yeah, I mean the whole. Oh yeah, Once Crowded Sky. I don't know. That's. I mean, it's easier to talk about Heroes in Crisis because that's the most blatant one, right? That was. I mean, the whole Heroes in Crisis can be summed up in one word, where it's like, this happens, don't be ashamed of it, right? Like that's, and I like the concepts of, I like the concept that sort of the mental health problems we incur along the way are not
problems, their wounds, you know? Because I feel like we're like, you know, like dudes always say to each other, like, oh, chicks dig scars. Like if you fall, you say that's horrible, but we do say that. And I feel like these are, I mean, they're just like a different kind of scar, you know, and we don't have to be ashamed of them. We can actually be proud of them and proud of overcoming them and proud that they're sort of part of us. That's all Heroes in Crisis is. And as for the rest, I don't know. I try not to write myself. I want to write different things and different people, but I just end up writing myself over and over again. So I don't know, maybe I'll move on to a different, I'm trying to move on to a different thing with the next sort of stuff we're doing. I'm trying to find some happy endings out there. I think there are a few, so I'm looking for them. But yeah, I mean, it all comes from I think it's just who you were. Like when I first got into comics and I wrote my first sort of trilogies like Sheriff and Omega Men and Vision, they're all about the Iraq-Afghan wars. They're just like basically a guy goes and he's trying to do the best he can. He thinks he's going to master this, and then everything's much more fucked up than he thought. And everything's a little more gray than he thought, but he keeps trying to do well, and the more he tries to do well, it falls apart. There are 3 different genres, 3 different things, but they're just my experience. I didn't realize I was doing that, but I did that. And then Batman, Heroes in Crisis, and Mr. Miracle are all about sort of, I mean, I've talked about it before, but I had this sort of mental breakdown or nervous breakdown in 2016, and sort of the recovery of that, and they're all about those 3 things. So I don't know what the next trilogy will be. Maybe it'll be about sitting in a room talking to people. I don't know how to figure it out, but yeah.
First of all, thanks for teaching and sharing your knowledge and stories with us.
That's so nice. Thanks, man.
No problem. My question is, I'm an amateur writer myself, and sometimes when I find myself saying, oh, gee, did I see this in a similar comic?
Yeah.
Did I see this in a movie? And I'm wondering, as an experienced writer yourself, probably runs into the same thing from time to time. Do you have any strategies or tips on how to overcome that?
Oh yeah, it's the worst feeling in the world, right? Like,
yeah, it is. Like, was this already done?
Yeah, dude. The worst thing is you'll have a really good idea, and then you're like, oh, that's too good an idea. Like someone's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you don't want to have like the best idea. You want to have kind of like the second best idea, because everyone's already thought of the best idea already.
Right.
A good example, I did a thing called War of Jokes and Riddles, and that was one of the ones where it was like, okay, what if the Riddler and the Joker fought each other? And I'd written that up actually as a pitch I was sending to DC before I got any work. Before I got to DC, I met with one of the editors, and he's like, yeah, Tom, send me something, whatever. He just blow me off. And he gave me his email address, and I took him seriously, so I'd send him a pitch every single week on Thursday. I didn't recommend it, but it works, so maybe I do recommend it. And one of those was the Joker versus the Riddler. I thought, oh, that must be the most cliched thing. I've read a lot of Batman, but I haven't read all 4,000 issues of Batman, so I was like, that must have been done. And then when I realized it hadn't been done, I was like, oh, this is the best moment of my life. But yeah, how do you avoid it? I mean, number one, what's the cliche? Like, bad artists are influenced and good writers rip off, or whatever it is. Like it's okay to be inspired by something, right? Like, if you're reading John Gardner's Grendel was like a huge book in the 70s. It won a bunch of awards, and it's just a complete ripoff of Beowulf, right? But it's Beowulf from obviously it's called that, but it's from a different direction. So like, that's what I do. I think it's just to be more conscious when you're ripping something off, and then put your own take on it. Okay. Like when I did I Am Gotham, that's a total ripoff of the movie Rio Bravo. It's almost beat for beat. But so. Or when I did Once Crowded Sky, the beats follow Dante's Paradiso. So like that kind of stuff works for me, where instead of being unconscious of copying something, I'm incredibly conscious of copying it, and so I'm sort of paying tribute to it. But that's a way to do, yeah.
So for Clay.
Did you vote yet, dude?
So you're Ivy.
Oh,
you did Ivy with you, and
yes.
And Ivy is a big part of Heroes of Crisis.
We're on camera here, Clay. I know.
Do you find that it's a character you like to draw, because you do such an amazing job on that?
Oh, I do an amazing job with everyone I draw, but yeah, I mean, I like Poison Ivy. I don't know if I like don't know where she ranks with other characters, but like I have a lot of fun with almost any character I draw. There's a few I don't like to draw, but yeah, I don't know.
Is there a character that you think I'm not good at drawing that character?
I have the hardest time, or I look back the most and I'm upset about the Trinity. So those
Superman,
three.
Batman,
And Wonder Woman.
Really?
I think because they're ingrained into me since I was a kid, so I see them so specifically that it doesn't hold up when I draw it. But like Booster, I don't know who that guy was. And I had so much fun drawing him, but I never had to think about how I didn't have any preconceived idea of what he should be.
Sweet. So my Trinity pitch, I should.
Trinity, I don't want to do the Trinity.
Okay, is there someone that you really like? Man, I wish I could draw. No.
Yeah,
Someone.
it's a secret. Look at Twitter this week.
Look at Twitter this week. Everyone.
That's
look at
not a
Twitter.
promise.
He's trying to bump his Twitter followers.
No, I mean, I gotta
Your notifications on, that way.
Yeah.
I gotta get Tom's permission later. But I think
He's talking. We have a secret villain, or you don't. I can't. What for Batcat, and it's big. It's something. It's huge. So
Very cool.
I'm just not gonna. I want to put it on Twitter, so it has to happen. That's all.
Then we'll be expecting it. Yes.
what's up?
When you were talking to John Suntress a long time ago, you said that
I love John Suntress.
you said that you grew up reading a lot of Marvel.
I did. I was a Marvel zombie growing up. So was Clay.
I didn't even know what DC was.
The one time you said that the DC universe is the universe that you look into, and the Marvel universe is the universe that's outside your bedroom window.
I think that's probably true. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when you step back and you write stuff that you're I'm writing these characters in a Marvel way? Is you show their flaws?
I do. I feel like I'm a Marvel writer who writes in the DC universe. Don't tell DC I said that. Talk to me, you fucking camera. Except when I wrote Vision, I feel like I was writing a DC series in the Marvel universe. Because Vision is a contained. Because what? This is not controversial, but I'm gonna say it a lot. I feel like Marvel makes over their histories, just put them side by side from 1962 on. So I'll wipe the beginning off. I feel like Marvel, on average, has made better comics than DC. Wait, you don't think that's right? Until, of course, Clay Mann came over. But DC has made, so that's the average. But if you look at the actual heights, DC has hit many more of the top heights. I mean, if you look at Watchmen, if you look at New Frontier, if you look at Killing Joke, if you look at Dark Knight, those contain minis, or Long Halloween. You can keep going on. There's the Marvel never. There's no equivalent of Watchmen in Marvel. I guess you could say Marvels, but it's not as good as Watchmen. I mean, it's great, but it's not Watchmen. So the company was, and so when I went and did Vision over at I was trying to do I'm arrogant and ambitious, but that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to do something that hit that ambitious height, but at Marvel. And then when I came to DC, I'm doing I'm trying to go do that sort of Marvel style of, these are trying to make DC heroes a little more relatable. Yeah.
Very cool.
For sure.
Yes.
Well, this for Thomas Paul. What do you personally like about the Batman character that you draw? What is your favorite part about Batman himself?
What do I like best about Batman? I think, there's a ton I like about him, but what I like best about him is that, and this kind of goes back to the last question, DC is such a world of gods, right? It's such a world of Superman and Wonder Woman, these sort of perfect, unapproachable beings. And
even Green Lantern, even Aquaman, these like princes and space cops. Oh, sorry, Green Lantern, like space cops. Like it just DC is such a world of God, not people, right?
Yeah.
But Batman is like he stands up there with them, and all he's wearing is fucking leather, you know? Like that's what I like about him. He feels like almost like he
Justice is served.
yeah, justice is like this idea that any one of us could stand up with the gods and be like, we're just as worthy as you. I mean, I feel like that's what he does, you know? Yeah, I like that about him. Yes.
Since you just mentioned Watchmen, when you were at the release schedule of Doomsday Clock in your book, Heroes in Crisis,
Yeah.
they were messing with, were you in conversation with trying to line those up to deal with all US?
No. I wish it was as complicated as that. I mean, the honest part is we had I had left a page blank. Just there's a page I'd written I didn't like, and we told Clay to draw blast. And we finally got a good idea for it. If you look at it, it's the page which just shows a post and says "I am here." We came up with it at the table with my kids were there. And so they gave us an extra week to make sure we got that page right. So that's why it came 1 week later. Yeah.
It's that rewrite I was telling you guys about. It's true.
Yes.
So this is Clay. If you could draw anything in the universe, either Marvel or DC, what project would you put yourself on?
I'm not
He's
really
living it
good
right
at
now.
these. No, I'm not living this.
Do Marvel, because your DC answer was be what you did.
Well, I don't even, if I could draw anything you said, I don't even think it would be comic books.
What would you draw?
I don't know.
Magnum PI, the book?
No. I love Magnum PI, but I'm not obsessed with it. I don't know.
What? That is a fucking lie. How are you not
No.
obsessed with Magnum PI?
I'm obsessed with it, but I guess it doesn't.
Have you or have you not visited every single location in Magnum PI?
I'm sorry, guys, but who would turn down my Hawaii? Everyone. You would go to Hawaii? I'm not good at these deep questions.
To universe, but if you had a character movement.
A character. So yeah, okay. So in comics, and what do you say? Go Marvel. So I wouldn't have to do DC.
Well, I know your answer for
There's characters I want to draw before I would be out of comics. I would love to do the X-Men again, and then or my X-Men version of the X-Men.
Who would your 5 X-Men be if you had a team?
Probably the blue team. I just love the old, and yeah, I just love the Jim Lee, the gold blue. I like Sabretooth on the X-Men and Mystique and all that. Are you kidding me? Stupid. The X-Men are like, I don't know. Those are my X-Men, and then and Spider-Man. I'd want to do at least one issue of Spider-Man.
Have you ever drawn Spider-Man?
No.
Next, yes.
This question is for Tom. So if you didn't know initially that you wanted the double date to be between Batman and Superman was, how much of this Batman run did you have planned out before things even started writing? Did you just kind of have an idea where you wanted to start, maybe some things in the middle, and then the ending you wanted to do?
I had the two themes of the thing. Bane is bad and Batman loves Catwoman. I knew it was going to be about those two things. And that's what it's still about. I knew halfway through the wedding, I knew how that would go. And hopefully I know what the ending was going to be. But yeah, I mean, the basic plan was, so I think of it in sort of quarters, you know? So it was, and I literally wrote this on a board for DC. So I was like, so for the first quarter, we sort of established where we are. We established what Batman is, what my Batman is, and we set all the characters. And we put Bane on the table. We put Catwoman on the table. We sort of set it up. And then that's up to 24 when Clay came in. And then so 25 through 50 was Batman's sort of climb up to happiness. So those that's why I had that beat. Like, and 50 he's at his happiest. And then either 50 for 75 is the fall. The wedding doesn't work out, and Bane's tearing him down through 74, which has been the hardest to write. Not the hardest to write, but the hardest because everyone's suffering for 25 issues. That was the thing I remember after I was like, how are you going to do 25 issues with Batman losing? I was like, oh, no problem, no one will care. Woo, people care. And and 75, I was like, that'll be the low point. That's when, and you'll read that in 75 in I Am Bane, and then the rise back up to 100. So that was always the plan. Yep.
I was wondering if you could talk about the anti-life equation a bit.
Sure.
In Miracle, in regards to it's never explicitly used, but also there are characters who believe that they or others might be affected by it.
Right. In like DC in general, or in my personal, yeah. I mean, so Mr. Miracle ends on an ambiguous note. I mean, I know what it is because I'm God of the world, but the idea with the ending of Mr. Miracle is if you've been through some sort of sadness or depression or something, what I've found is that when you start to emerge from it, you never know exactly what it was that caused it. You can go through the greatest there. It's like when you watch the movies, like Ordinary People or some shit like that, like it's always like, oh, it was that one time that I experienced that one thing on that one helicopter, and now that I've remembered it, now I'm happy again. Like that doesn't seem to fucking be real to me. Like what's actually real is you're like, oh, it had something to do with how my dad treated my mom. It had something to do with my experience, with this weird experience I had in high school. It's like there are like 6 causes, and you don't know which one is the actual cause of this. And so that's how Mr. Miracle ends, where Scott himself doesn't know what caused, and he doesn't know how to heal, but he knows that it was something, and he's looking in the face, and he's sort of moving on. So that's why it's left ambivalent like that. And to me, that's what the anti-life. I mean, literally, what Kirby set up as the anti-life equation is. It's the knowledge of how to rob people of free will, right? It's the knowledge of how to make slaves, which I think is just. I mean, he's obviously was a World War II vet who fought on the ground, and I think it's just this idea of fascism, but not fascism from the point of view of someone oppressing people, but from the point of view of people giving up and letting themselves be oppressed, and that's what Scott has to overcome, this sort of feeling of giving up and asserting his own free will. So that's what he overcomes at the end, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does anyone have one more question? Then we're going to wrap it up for Clay.
I don't need to go last.
I want you to.
Just a couple fun ones. One was, did you have any fun stories of art, like competing with your brother growing up? And the other was if you'd ever want to write anything for yourself.
Uh-oh. I don't like that second question.
Well, because I'm an artist and I'm dabbling in writing also. You always have the stories in your head when you're drawing, even if it's just in a sketchbook.
You said a good idea last night for a thing.
I have lots of good ideas if Tom will give me the time of day. But what was the first one? If I've ever competed with my brother?
Growing up, like just fun stories of like competing with your brother.
When it comes to art, or just?
Yeah, or anything.
Competing. Yeah, I mean, like in school, they would always have like a school-wide competition for like make a poster for a party or a thing. That was always fun because we both do it separately. I think I won every time.
Did you make Seth trace over it so he gets some practice?
No, and inking's not tracing. You better watch yourself. Well, inkers will get mad at you. And then we also would argue about artists that we both liked. I liked Joe Mad at one time, and then he liked Jim Lee, and we'd be like, this guy's better, that guy sucks, this guy's better. And then that's the only kind of argument I can remember with Seth. And the second part of your question was writing. Yeah, I mean, I've had ideas since I was a kid, but I don't know how good they are, or I have one idea I want to do one day by myself when Tom's writing movies or something. But yeah, I mean, I think about it, but not really a writer.
Very cool. So guys, you're going to be back down at your tables the rest of the day?
Yeah, and my kids will probably be there, so if you want to see my kids.
That's fun. So yeah, please go down, visit them down at their tables. They're going to have, you both have art and stuff to buy, books to buy at your tables.
But you don't have
get
to.
That.
He's gonna signature.
Get stuff signed, go get a handshake, get what you need. Guys, one the last time, give it up.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end. you can subscribe here. So subscribe to the channel. There's more videos off to the left. Mr. J says, don't forget to ring that bell button for more notifications.